Greetings and welcome to not side quest, it's MINIQUEST. You see, sometimes things don't go to plan. And when things go to plan, well, I don't have the words for this. Look, it's a thief.
Hi! This is the quest that you go on while you're on the quest, to go on the quest. It's like a sub-quest to your side quest to your main quest. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah,
Hi.
MINIQUEST, or if you were playing like Skyrim, this would be called a Radiant Quest, which is, of course, the most meaningless quest one could go on, entirely randomized, with no reward worth mentioning.
Raiding quest? Isn't that just a raid?
No, Radiant. Radiant as in shining. But in this case, it's just us for, I think, the first time ever. Whoa.
Don't get any ideas there.
No, I'm not pleased with any of the ideas I might have gotten anyway, so you can relax, rest assured.
We're only here because of circumstances and not for any divine fate-related reasons.
Oh, I hope not. I don't want the gods getting involved in my business. I need to keep the hell out. But they might not. Actually, now you mentioned it, the odds are pretty low with, like, why, we are perhaps the only two fully human, fully non-magical members of SideQuest. You know what this means, right?
Is it Pentagast? Non-magical and human?
Okay, non-magical I'm pretty sure of. Human...
He could be part giant, I will say. I think he's tall enough to be, but then so is Magog.
Yeah, well, I would say Magog might not necessarily qualify as human, but not because of that. More like the whole, is he necessarily living or dead? Does anyone really know? Does anyone really care? It doesn't qualify, and furthermore, he's exempt because he's magical. The magical fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is undisputed, obviously. He shoots rainbows out of his fucking ass, so I mean...
Yeah, I was going to say, this. You know what this means, right?
What does this mean?
We must talk as much shit as possible about the others, while they can't possibly respond in any meaningful fashion.
Well, naturally.
Oh, indeed,
I would do that even if they were here, but since they're not here, I get to do it behind their back, so it's...
And furthermore, because there are no official attacks, no health bars, no damage, and we can't die, well, we don't have any reason to hold back on insults to save them until we forget the right moment when someone actually does activate it. But then that attack you had in mind was perfect because it was a brilliant insult, and it's gone now, and you can't use it then.
So, what you're saying is, side quest unleashed? No?
Pretty much, and I'm tempted to get started right now, but we're sort of focusing on the others because they can't defend themselves. Ha ha ha! You all suck! You could have been here. Each and every one of you could have been here. You could have had the entire cast on in this very moment, but no, because I'm dying, or I'm getting raided, or my house is on fire. Whinge, whinge, whinge.
Or I'm choking on a baby carrot. Oh. Choke harder.
Yeah, no one believes that too. It's got to be a gnome stuck in there.
Naturally. Come in. You honestly expect us to not believe that she's not into Vor a little bit? Just a little bit?
Yep, and I'm gonna bet she's too lazy to make sure they're dead every time.
Mm-hmm. That boy is holding on to her, what is it, a uvula for dear life?
That sounds about right. Or, if they really stick their arms out, legs as far as they can, that's a pretty sizable blockage there, especially if they can really dig in any nails you've got to trim.
That doesn't feel very comfortable.
No, it doesn't, but just imagining it really makes my day.
I'd rank that just below, that feeling, that discomfort feeling, that's just below that feeling that you get when you accidentally choke on your own hair. Or someone else's hair. Like when you get a nice stringy string in your food and you gotta pull it out like it's a reverse spaghetti noodle. Are you okay?
This is why wise people keep their hair trimmed nice and short, so they don't wind up choking on it, unless they just have a thing for that, I guess.
You could choke on someone else's hair too.
No, I don't think I will. Look, we don't have special attacks per se, but this is all about torture. It all has been about torture. It's been about torture from the start. If you missed that somehow, you really haven't been paying attention. You're a silly person. Sillier than us, even. Well, most of us. I mean, some of us are exceptionally silly. Not me, though.
He
I'm,
says
of course,
as he puts
serious
his feather
business.
hat on. He says as he puts his feather hat on.
You're just jealous. You've got feather envy. You've got a hat there, and you got plenty of folds in it, but not a single feather.
I have feathers elsewhere. It's just my hat is already magnificent. It doesn't need feathers.
It's peasant thief chic, and we're getting sidetracked. We don't have attacks. We can't take damage. We can't die. You can't heal us. We can't be fixed anyway. But there are several attacks, as you can see here. And the rules are as follows. You have the Gibber-Gabber Grimoire, which is the tabula, whatever it was, only no one translates anything whatsoever. Stupid's arrow compels one of us to pretend we like one of you. Or we can just be quiet and think naughty, naughty thoughts that you will never, ever learn. It's not really something forthright. Many of you have probably seen this before. The big change, assuming the rest of you have been paying attention and know the rules of the previous activations, Potions of Praise and Liar's Locket durations have been reduced to 10 torturous, miserable, hated minutes. Sorry, I have a bit of history with things. But they're now repeatable and are only 20 signets.
Now we can't make Ark do something for an entire hour straight with no breaks.
Oh, Monday before last, thief. It wasn't quite an hour. It felt like weeks. I had longbone praise, hate. And know what really hurt? It wasn't as bad as last time. The time before that, they activated both, so I had to constantly lie about yet praise Lyra, and it was just double flattery, and I think I had a bit of a stroke.
Yeah, it shows.
It caused scarring, not on the outside, but on the inside. I must admit, I survived, though. I couldn't die.
You
I
came
just
out
wanted to.
a broken man on the other side.
Okay,
It's
we
just the way-
have your thoughts. Yeah. So in any case, this is only an hour, but you can do all that. If you want to have me read your messages with the activations, use super chats. If you want to have me read the messages with your activations, read Streamlabs. Unless you have Streamlabs. Do you have Streamlabs?
I can pull up Streamlabs.
Okay. Well, if it's an activation that you want them to read off with the activation, Streamlabs.
I just gotta find it.
You know what I hate?
Incompetence.
Yes,
Muted fashion.
absolutely.
Small words.
Yeah, it's a bad sign. Huge red flags.
Am I touching base here on like anything
No,
at all?
I must gradually admit you were right on all points, but what I really hate, of course, is non-humans. So I just want to stress one more time. You all fuck the elves. I'm not doing it. Just no contact with the elves. I want you all go out them. Get them elves. Have
Wait,
a
you want
great
us
big
to-
elf hoedown.
You want us to pull one over on the elves by fucking them?
Look, as long as they don't like it, which means I suppose that excludes Lyra in your case.
How much do you actually know about elf sexuality? Because I'm sorry to say this to you to burst your bubble, but they actually kind of like, not liking the things that they're not supposed to like. It's kind of a reversal of fortune for them. Almost.
Okay, folks, go out there, do your research, find the elves who won't enjoy your surprise affections.
Surprise affections. Oh, that sounds muted. Just imagine you're walking out of the tavern one night, right? You're walking down the cobblestone streets, and you're just minding your own business, and la da 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 da. You're Arcturus. You're walking down the streets, paying no mind, no heed to anything else, and an elf jumps you in the streets and surprises you with affection. Just imagine it for a moment.
Look, it's not going to end well for them. I won't enjoy it until after they're dead.
Anyway, so we were talking about the elf.
Yes, they're awful, and see, this looks like I might have been being cutesy with the Iron Rose, but this is perfectly capable of fracturing a skull. That's why I'm wearing it. It's not. I'm not being cute here.
Are you sure you're not being cute?
I'm not trying. If I'm cute despite myself, well, that's just a matter of personal taste, isn't it?
Well, cute in the derogatory sense, not in the, in the you're cute sense. Like the, oh my gosh, how adorable. You have such big eyes and a tiny nose and a chubby little face. Kind of like Lyra. I don't know why you thought that this was going to work out. I have a fondness for the lady fiends.
No, I was expecting you would have a certain bias towards them, and I'm sure I know for a fact they have a bias towards you, which is why I can't possibly touch any of you, because I don't know where you've been.
Well, actually, you can kind of guess really easily where it is that we've all been.
Which is one reason I have no desire to touch any of you.
A hallmark of the indication that Ark, though he may be whoremonger general,
that is correct. I'm amazed. That was several syllables.
Is only so much whoremonger general in business, not so much in spirit.
That is correct. I actually have no interest in pimping and do not handle the products directly, except for occasional quality assurance among the really high quality stuff when my reputation might be on the line.
I see. Does that disincentivize the business end of things? If your clients don't think that you're going to touch the merchandise, doesn't that make them feel like, oh, well, if you won't touch it, why would I buy it from him? Right? That seems like it might be counterproductive.
Okay, so the average drunk sailor launching into port and waddling into a brothel is thinking, I wonder if the owner of this establishment has personally poked every last salty slattern in this building.
Well, I'm just, thinking as a person who is not a salesman. If I want to take your money from you, I have to convince you that this is something worth wanting. And how do I convince you that this is something worth wanting? By not wanting it to your face.
Look, if an especially high-end courtesan of great skill and talent, I may or may not verify their talents before recommending them to the more established of the nobles. If they're just, someone that got recruited into a brothel, then there's such a thing called delegation. I mean, there's someone who can handle that for me.
So you go to your whoremonger corporals and whoremonger, fuck, I can't say that word, captains, and you're like, all right, I want you to be in charge of the Peacock Battalion. I want you to be in charge of the Zebra Battalion. You will be in charge of the Slippery Eel Battalion. All right? Sell your wares, get shit done, bring me money, get them bitches laid, however you have to. And if that means that one or all of you have to catch the stinky crotch from one of them, then so be it. That is a sacrifice that I, as we're
willing to have you make, yes.
And willing to make. Some of you may die from the clap, but that is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
Look, admitting that in this business we're in danger of that anyway. Nothing really changed for them. Only now they get paid for it. And we don't call them battalions, we call them pokerages.
Ah, I'm learning so much.
That's how I developed it anyway. It's not necessarily the correct term, but it was never organized on the scale until I got here. I really brought things around and saw this.
So what crucial changes did you make to the Sarthosian, pimping business that really revolutionized the business, would you say?
Well, I'm glad you asked, and this is really taking a strange turn as sort of an interview about my brilliant business strategies. First off, dead hooker disposal has become an art form. I mean, no more dead hookers littering the streets. They are disposed of promptly when it occurs, with some regularity depending on the neighborhoods. Also, dead hooker rates in general have gone down, as you know. I'm not really wasteful. I'm very efficient.
Right. So waste not, want not.
Indeed. And most dead hookers are disposed of promptly because they go to the few academies where they dissect corpses to learn more about anatomy and whatnot. The occasional necromancy school, those not on the books officially, that's not necessarily quite totally legal, but really it's again non-wasteful. We're using every bit.
So for those hookers that do fall victim in such a way, do they turn a profit even in their death? What I mean is, like, things get too exciting, shit happens, not the subject in question, but the subject who did the deed in question, they have to pay a premium on what they broke, essentially a security deposit they don't get back. Is that how that works?
Well, it depends on the price, how expensive the client is. If it's just some random sailor who came in and killed a member of staff, then generally they're going out with the hooker themselves because they're expendable. Now, higher class cases, things change. It's just really necessity of politics. They don't make any further money post-death, mostly because Magog has completely refused to bring them back to life, unless, of course, he gets to keep them.
Unless he gets to keep them. How many dead hookers does he have at his disposal? Have you given him so far?
None. I really don't want to get any closer to Magog business-wise than I've been directly magically forced to.
I mean, I feel like you could make some manner of profit off the Dark Lord, you know.
No, I can't. That's... Okay, I don't know what sort of contract you got him to sign that gave you so much leeway, but strictly speaking, it took the better part of a year for I to stop calling him Lord.
I only do it to piss him off now, because he knows I'm not serious about it.
He's choked on my tongue so many
Is that
times.
how much he's got you by the balls? He's just like, And, you know, that is a truth universally acknowledged amongst the co-hosts. Magog does enjoy the ball things. I mean, you can see it in previous episodes. Undoubtedly, he has a thing for spherical things.
Indeed, he basically started the meme of wizards pondering spheres.
Mm-hmm. There's literally an episode on the channel of him just gripping spheres maniacally, giggling, and I don't know, what was it? He was playing like wizard orbs or something? As a non-magic user, I'm not 100% on the up and up with what the game was, but I very distinctly remember him fondling balls for a solid 3 minutes on screen.
That does
without
sound
stop.
very familiar. But we do only have an hour, and we've gone through 19 minutes thus far. Are there any Streamlab activations to go through?
Indeed there are. So from Sean J73, who donated 10 signals to say, a mimic mirror for the thief, and you must mimic Lyra. Aw, my sweet, innocent, not so innocent, I guess you could say.
That doesn't sound like Lyra at all.
Oh no, I haven't started yet. So I'm supposed to mimic her as if I was her.
Your best, you're compelled at this point to do your best Lyra impression. Mind you, almost no one does a very good job, so it's not so much as you are Lyra of the duration, as we get a very clear insight as to how Lyra appears to you. It's meta.
You, with the gnomes and stop it, mister.
That's actually pretty good. It's one of the better impressions we've gotten in a while, and certainly my contempt for going up by at least 50%, so you're on the right track.
Stop it, you.
Okay, I need a bit more hurt silence, and like... Wait, hold on. Now, I'm not giving acting lessons, pretend to admit that. What's wrong with me? Look, Lyra Thief... Why don't you... is there something other to activate? Is there something I need to do? Or is it just all for you?
Well, I mean, Gan also donated to say, Arcturus, would you kindly ponder this Orb of Obscenity? P.S. Folks of the forest, rise up against the Dendrocide. Yep.
Well,
That
throw
was
yourself with a pearl abstractum. I'm not going to do that. Fuck. Obscenity has been activated. If you don't know what that means, well, flattering chip tits.
How disappointing. I just, I'm just, and with the gnomes and the arc, he's so mean sometimes, and I really just, where are my shoulders? I can't find my shoulders.
I don't recall the elf having problem finding their quivering cunt flaps. Shoulders.
My shoulders, they're gone. They're never coming back. Just like the gnomes.
Pregnant go-cock. Wait, no, pregnant go-goo? No?
You stop it, you.
Yeah, they got numb to that for a while. I missed it, because it used to cause them so much pain. But, do anything long enough, people develop scars. The scars thicken the skin. The skin becomes an asshole. Wait. Yeah, I don't believe the elf for a second has remotely that much control over their eyeballs.
You would be right in certain circumstances.
Look, the only situation I expect the eyeballs for the elf to go different directions and burst out their ass. Club to the... Yes, that was right. Massive dick to the head. Go, club!
Is Ark gonna be okay, everybody?
Orb of Obscenity is not good for maintaining one's degenerate fuckwittery.
Womp, 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 womp. Wow.
Mustn't run the clock, people. Oh.
I
Well,
want
look,
fluffy things.
That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.
I want more fluffy things.
You don't deserve more fluffy things. And neither
I
does
want
Lila.
fluffy pillows, fluffy blankets, fluffy thief. Yeah. Yeah.
The second round I was thinking. Although, probably not inaccurate.
Ooh, another one. Yay. Okay. For Megaron, for 5 Signas, we have this message. Ark, you should grow a Salvador Dali mustache. Orb of Obscenity for the thief. Fuck!
Yeah, indeed. And just in time, having the mirror wear off. So, now it's your turn to embarrass yourself with random vulgarity, swearing, and of course, just all sorts of obscene things that... Why?
Fuck you, mama! Boob titty. Big flappy foot fetish.
Is that when they have a broken foot?
That was basically when you take the foot and you flap it around like it ain't no one's business. And then you bitch slap someone with it, and then you just kind of go, wah!
So stick your feet in the air and wave them like they just don't care?
Precisely.
That's terrible.
See, puppy! We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. See, Poppy. Yep. That didn't happen.
Maybe someone else
Donkey Monk's big fuss! Sorry.
No, I understand. Believe me, I understand. Also, I have caught a bit on chat in the vague sense. I am increasingly angry at Master Chance for your criminal suggestion that I want anything to do with elves. Yes, the only thing I want to do with elves is fire them out of cannons. We had cannons. We don't.
Sorry.
Yeah, she wants to bonk the elves. I just want them dead and gone. And other non-human races too, but some are harder to get rid of than others.
I can't fuck a dead thing! I'm not Magog!
Oh, I'm sure you can if you try.
I don't wanna. You can't make me. I refuse.
Now, strictly speaking, without paying attention, you probably could make it.
Fucking that right in the asshole.
Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on that because there are other people he could apply such an approach to, and we shouldn't give him ideas. The ones he has naturally are bad enough.
Oh, I'm resurrected. Well, I wasn't dead, but I am no longer beholden to the Orb of Obscenity. Is that what that game was?
That's what the item was, the Orb of Obscenity, which was, of course, well, actually no one knows who made it, but...
No, I mean, is that not what Magog was doing with the balls that one time on that one episode of A Life in the Magog of Morscar?
One of those might have been an Orb of
like
Obscenity. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just getting flashbacks at the time you dropped me in the frozen north.
Wumba, wumba, wumba.
Look, did he ever teleport you to the frozen north? It's just me that gets this shit?
He would never dare. But yes, it would be just you. I would teleport you to the frozen north if given the opportunity, but unfortunately I have to ship you there in a crate too small for you and your gigantic head, so. And shipping is a bitch. If you're shipping a whole person, do you know what the taxes are on slave transport, like human transport, illegal human transport from one location to the other? It's absurd because it's not like you're paying an actual government entity that's regulated at all, not whatsoever. No, you are paying an underheaded asshat of an inspector to look the other way in order to smuggle your goods into the country and then sell them off to people. The more you know. Granted, you're making a killing on the market because people of any race, they go for a hefty price on the market. I mean, we're talking from the ripe young age of a small child to dead. You can sell it. It's an open market. Everyone's always buying something. They have nefarious purposes for all of the population. It is a diverse place, the slave market. Let me tell you.
I believe it, and although they do actually have official slave inspectors and smugglers, but that's mostly at cash, and if you want tips on that, I'm the wrong person to talk to. If you didn't know, Pfizer has been adopted by nobility over there because they have terrible taste. Some idiot, I don't know what they call themselves, Shaws, King Poobahs, whatever. Anyways, she killed one of their sons, but the person decided they liked her better than the son that was dead, so now she's royalty. Ain't that a kick in the balls?
That's typically how that works, honestly. I mean, if you display weakness in that half of the world, it's like disowned. You're no longer my son. Get the fuck out of here. Next.
Speaking of next, there have been some questions in the chat, although, strictly speaking, you should be, paying for such things. We'll be generous. No, I don't play sports. My sports are architecture, art, scouting, engineering, trap making. Those are my sports.
Those aren't really sports, though.
Well, people die in them. There's a lot of violence in general.
Yeah, but they're not sports.
Well, for that, although I don't participate directly, I did own what used to be called the PB Touchers, which are now called the South Asian Last Chances. Again, still comprised of most people on death row.
They're more of a hobby, everything that you described there.
Well, the last one's a business venture, and the money has gone... It's been a good investment. It's been slow to go because people really don't want to let the old name of the team die. I probably shouldn't remind people.
Well, most business ventures that are highly successful typically start off as impassioned hobbies, I find. Do you not agree?
Possibly, yes, although it doesn't apply here because I barely had an interest in Slaughter Ball. It's an occasional fun thing to watch, but it's still hard to take seriously when everyone walks out of the arena at the end. Although, certainly do suffer quite extravagantly, especially when we put up our team against one of the ones that has a dragon. It's a huge handicap. We can't get one for ours. They don't want to be associated with a team that was formerly known as the old PB Touchers.
That does sound fun, though. I mean, to watch from the sidelines, so long as you're not getting burned to a crisp by a dragon.
Well, the Slaughter Ball Arena should prevent most of that. I understand it's part of the thrill, really. We have a donation coming in. Knight's Son has thrown 5 signals at us to say, Thief insult Ark savagely. Which isn't really an activation so much as a, I guess, heartfelt request. So I suppose we can indulge.
Certainly, certainly. Ark, I really wish that you would trim your mustache. It's so unkempt. For a Sarthosian who has just taken so much pride in their entire appearance, it really brings me to tears to see the state of your facial hair as it is today. Is unfortunate.
Unkempt my mustache? Magnificent my mustache? This is the pride of, would be the pride of many of an artisan.
How much beard oil do you have to rub into your follicles in order to get them to stick that way?
Beard wax, you know nothing. And, no more than a few cases.
Yeah. I bet you draw on your mustache in some areas where it's patchy.
Not anymore. I've extended beyond that.
What about the goatee area? I bet you have to draw in some areas there.
No, actually, that's probably the one place that is never required particular refinement. It's just naturally amazing from day one. Look, say, weren't you looking to finally find a name? Thief?
No.
No? I just remember you were looking for a name at some point, but we didn't really decide on one.
No, part of my charm is that I have no name. And it also protects my identity. And it also protects me from getting captured and put away for the rest of my life for all of the horribly devilish things that I've done throughout my entire life. You see, Ark, I was, as a young child, my passion, obviously, was kleptomania. I was very good at it. I was very good at stealing things. Me as a person and other people's stuff as an object, we were one, all right? I could not resist the sharp and shinies of the world. And so I made an entire career out of it. And I've had a very long and a very storied career. And if anyone ever found out who I actually was, that would put a lot of things in jeopardy. So my identity is extended.
So for to protect your identity, that means that you do have an identity, which means that you do have a name. You're just trying to hide it.
Well,
which means it can be found.
Sure, Jan. It's not like I went through and I just completely burned all records. Okay, it's not that I don't have an identity. It's that I have multiple identities that I have accumulated over the years that have enabled me to hide away all of my ill-gotten gains. As any good identity thief will tell you, you definitely want to have multiple money locations in various parts of the world. But they cannot ever be interconnected to each other. So yeah. You probably might get lucky, but you get only a fraction of my fortune.
I don't think it'd give me a fortune fraction directly. I have no scheme for that. But, we live in a realm of magic, those damn magic users, so maybe it might be worth throwing some stigmas at a scryer at some point. Let's see. Are there any activations coming in? Something to keep things clicking along?
Oh, you're not being clicked on? Speaking of activations,
I don't want to be clicked on.
You want to be clicked off? I can click you off. Bye!
As enjoyable as it is to now have the show entirely to myself for the duration, I think we're obligated to acknowledge things.
Fair enough. I will read the Streamlabs. From the amazing Critterman, who donated 5 signals to say this, Arcturus, I fire stupid arrows into thee. Oh, stupid's arrows. Not stupid arrows.
Son of a...
Yeah? You got something to say there, Ark?
I said some things last time on the last mini quest. I can't quite bring myself to say again at this point, especially about Old Man Enfield. Old Man Enfield, look,
Yeah?
just...
Yeah?
I have to be a bit more discreet. This has to be discreet, and... Okay. Look, Old Man Enfield, just watch, just go back to the last time we had mini quest, and take everything that I said to Whitechapel, which, of course, I mean, that everything I said to Whitechapel now in this present context disgusts me, and clearly it was all meant for you.
Who?
It's Old Man Enfield. It is just... Well, the female fans of the show, wasn't he I mean, they wouldn't hold a candle to you, Old Man Enfield.
Tell me about his lovely eyes.
I've never seen them, but somehow I know they're just majestic, glittering like stars in the mysterious night sky.
Describe to me his supple skin.
I don't know what it looks like either, but I presume it's smooth and gently wrinkly. Not
What's
in a
your-
horrifying fashion at all.
I love this one, guys.
At least there was some mercy in the mad dark wizard in that, that's only a 5-minute one.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I want more of those, please and thank you. Because I have so many questions to ask Ark the next time that happens to him. So many.
Oh, I'm so glad those aren't here now because they might actually get ideas from you, and I resent the very idea.
I bet you do. Aren't you regretting the show now?
Oh, I regret the show constantly. That's kind of a given. I mean, sign the...
Personally, I think you're a glutton for punishment, if I'm being honest. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let Ark lie to you and your faces and your screens, all right? He was absolutely excited to do this show with me when we were talking in the DMs. I mean, it was just, oh my gosh, Thief, we're gonna have such a great time insulting all the non-human magic users together. It's gonna be just you and me and chat, and what more could we want but chat and the humans, honestly. It was...
Oh, boy.
Bet you're regretting it now.
Well, when you're a filthy liar, I regret this all constantly. Look, the idea of a sort of immortality is really tempting, but the contracts, there's a reason they tell you to read the contracts carefully, especially when dealing with, deranged dark wizards who might say do things in invisible ink that require us. I had the lens that would have revealed it too. I had it. I had the lens of obscure truths that looped. I didn't read the contract. I signed it, and this is how I pay for it, and pay and pay and pay and pay and pay and pay.
Yeah, see, I didn't have that problem. I didn't know how to read.
And besides, why are you pissing on the opportunity to piss on the other cast? I mean, we all hate them. This is our common ground. And it should be noted that, really, strictly speaking, among all the other cast, be it the lunatic Magog himself, or the awkward potion master, or, of course, the vile elf, the degenerate quarter orc,
Oh, you know who really grinds my giblets? All right, let me tell you. All right, since we're spilling tea here. All right, let me tell you all about how that big-titted bitch came into this show thinking that she was all that, right? And she's just like, ooh, let me use my feminine wiles against the audience. When that was already fulfilled by yours truly. Thank you very much. All right, we are somewhat in a boob competition, and I feel threatened, all right? But not that much because, let's be honest, of course I'm winning. I have the masquerade mask, and that makes everything 10 times hotter. Duh.
I think you're mostly just feeding into their hopes that one day they'll see basically a version of you two jousting, topless, trying to knock you off of horses, but just with your axe. And
Hey. Don't turn me on, alright? Because that image may or may not have already crossed my mind. What's your choice? It's not pent-up sexual frustration, I can assure you of that. I've already taken care of that. But Alisteria, she thinks she just come into the show, to my house, with her titties all up in everyone's business, and not pay me, the original big-titted bitch, a commission?
you know, right now someone's filling the kiddie pool of their mind with jello. Guess who's going in next?
I have a few ideas. The entire female side quest post-cast.
Indeed. Look, honestly, I understand that at some point, one of them really wants to arrange Teen Girl Squad with you lot. That's going to be interesting if they ever manage it.
Oh, I would love a ladies' night. Alright, I say all this somewhat in jest, but also in malice. I would absolutely love to have a ladies' boob off. May the best pair of tits win.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that on YouTube. We might need to start a Twitch stream and then spit Baltic into a cat's mouth. I think that's how it's done.
Hey, the Wednesday show is always got open slots.
Especially if you're all on it.
Are you saying that I'm unfuckable?
Only by me.
Okay, that's fair. I wouldn't anyway.
Look, that's only reassuring. Do we have any further activations?
Let me double check there. From Wendigo, we have a donation in the amount of 20 signas. Potions of praise for the beguiling black compass. Who shall you praise, I wonder? Oh, I know. Po Longbone! This actually grinds my giblets just as much.
Eurus's brass fuck knuckles! I love Po Longbone! I am so pleased to spend another additional 10 minutes making it a full hour. I have praised the wondrous Po Longbone, that fantastic Grim Raven who, well, not a Grim Raven, he's actually a very capable thief of exceptional skill who just by sheer chance managed to get himself murdered by a dark wizard and stuck in a Grim Raven skeleton. I mean, it could have happened to anyone.
Ooh, you should tell us more about how much you like his calcium content.
Why, certainly Poe's Longbone's bones are the most high-quality, calcium-dense bones of any Grim Raven skeletons we're aware of. He takes good care of himself, I presume. I haven't watched him so much scrim himself as much as I would love to do such a thing, because Poe Longbone is really my reason to tell. He's the one that inspires me to keep going day in and night. How has Po Longbone improved your life, Thief?
He hasn't, but do go on about his juicy bone marrow.
Oh, come on. Po Longbone's improved everyone's lives. He surely's improved yours. Why, I'm sure he's been absolutely invaluable in clearing out your intestinal structure of blockages, because that is, of course, his favorite pastime, especially with attractive women such as yourself.
Ooh, discuss his long, hard pecker next.
Why, yes, the high calcium content of Po Longbone's Grim Raven skeleton ensures that he can really handle a great deal of crushing pressure before so much as fracturing. And with his incredible swiftness of speed that you don't really see, except for when he's turning his head. I mean, never see it turn completely. He moves that fast. Just left, then right, then left, then right, then forward, then left, then right. You can't predict it because he's just that fast. And if you don't play your cards right, he might pay you a visit up and out. But you wouldn't want to do that, because you want Po Longbone to be your friend, your bird in the hand, if you would.
Friend or lovely serenader with a boombox outside your window late at night as you're romancing in your head about him?
Of course, long for the day when I might see Poe Longbone outside my window playing dated 80s hits, trying to win me over to their side, but unfortunately I am, of course, beneath the majesty of Poe Longbone. He barely acknowledges me, except for the occasional insult.
Okay, now discuss his bird song and how much it sings to your heartstrings.
Why, truly, I can't help but enjoy the fact that Poe Longbone, his voice, it's absolutely mesmerizing. Who wants to listen to birdsong? Tweet, tweet, flap, flap, wiggle, wiggle. Who cares? When you could hear what sounds like a chain smoker who got run over by a Mack truck. It is absolutely majestic, hypnotic.
Just like his flight patterns, I'm sure, right, Ark?
Well, as it happens, Poe Longbone is incapable of flight as, well, he simply doesn't have the feathers for it. Poe is a burrowing bird.
Where does he burrow, dear?
Wherever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's because Poe Longbone, as a superstar internet YouTube celebrity, has the sheer star power to enter any orifice he cares to.
Did you say any orifice?
Why, yes, I did. I would never be so arrogant, so overbold, as to say that Poe Longbone couldn't go where he wants to. He's just that great.
Yeah? Did he worm his way into your heart, too?
Yeah, figuratively, yes. Yes, that's exactly what's happening right now. It's been chemically compelled twice now. Yay!
I have a question, Ark, before we continue on this lovely journey together of you waxing poetic about your love for Poe. Weren't you supposed to activate the little hourglass button thing that said 10 minutes or whatever?
Why, yes, and in fact, I did. Only Liar's Locket remains unactivated at present. Messenger Hansen gave 20 signature reference with the message, "Lol, Hawk, that deserves a tip."
Yeah.
Do you have to use tip? Never mind. Thank you for supporting your signers. Coffers supporting good. Make sure to compare it against Turns and Pepto-Bismol.
Tums.
Tums and Pepto.
Or Tunes.
The
But
potion of
again, we all
praise.
make those mistakes.
Yeah, the potion of praise, I can tell you right now, does nothing to neutralize stomach acid. In fact, I am stewing in bile right now.
Yeah. You just, so lovesick.
That's
The
right.
prospect of Poe's tip.
I love Poe Longbone so much, my stomach is churning with vilest admiration, as he would, of course, wish, because my suffering reassures him of his brilliance.
Do go on. I mean, we could talk all day, I'm sure, about his flight patterns, the stiffness of his beak, the
Okay, look, once again, I have to correct you. Poe Longbone does not actually fly. The only way Poe Longbone flies is if he were physically thrown through the air, which no one would do because they love him that much. I know I do. I would hate to throw Poe Longbone
You ever get in a
at a
hug?
dartboard.
Gotten a hug
And
from Poe and his wings just encompass you in a big, nice, bony embrace?
why, no. In fact, I have never been hugged by Poe or showed even the slightest bit of affection by Poe, save that it was a setup for some jab at my much lesser self in his magnanimousness.
So, tell us about that tip.
Why, that tip is in fact very well honed, although it doesn't look it. Actually, it's a bit numb. It doesn't break easy though, so if it's a bit dull, it just means it's going to hurt more as it's going in.
I'm sure. But it's a pleasureful hurt, right?
It's an honor, of course, whenever Poe Longbone is in one's immediate physical proximity.
Tell us about the little flutteries that go on in your tum-tum at the proximity of being near our dear boy Longbone.
Oh, why, my stomach is so full of butterflies right now, I'm in danger of violently vomiting against the wall out of sheer admiration for the brilliance that is Poe Longbone.
Now tell us about the tongue-tiedness that you get in his presence as well.
Well, unfortunately, in my previous Potion of Praise activated days, I have not said the nicest things to Poe. In fact, strictly speaking, Poe has never been around when I've been so wonderfully compelled to sing his praises. A thought that, of course, saddens me deeply. I hope that Poe Longbone, wherever he is, knows how much I love him in these moments, how proud I am to work with him, and Poe Longbone is just the best.
Yeah, I bet.
No, honestly,
Yep.
It's only 10 minutes, but it feels like I've been singing Poe Longbone's praise.
Has
Or
it
at
only
least
been
the last
10
30.
minutes? Only 10? I feel like it's been a lot shorter than that, actually.
Well, maybe it has been, but time flies when you're praising Poe Longbone. Even if, say, when you're praising Poe Longbone, in my case, it feels like a bleeding eternity, like an infinity of inadequacy to the majesty of Poe's Longbone.
Mm-hmm. Bet time slows down when you're with Poe.
Oh, indeed. Many of the times I've been with Poe, time has seemed to slow to an absolute crawl, where I could feel every minute of searing honor of receive.
Oh, I'm having so much fun with this. It's a great time, actually.
I
Really,
should
this
not
is
have
just
talked
cheering me up.
Look, I would have ended this if I could have, but I
There's-
couldn't because I had to, because it could, but I would have been able to sing Poe Longbone's praise, and that's besides the point. We don't want to skip something like this when we could possibly be talking about Poe Longbone.
Yeah. Tell me what you want to do with Poe Longbone.
Why, if I were in the company of Poe Longbone, it would be my pleasure to polish him thoroughly. I would break out the wax, get a good sponge, and really break out a shine on those Grim Raven bones. By the time I was done, Poe Longbone could go fuck himself with a rusty pike. I would absolutely rip off his skull, shove it in his ribcage, rip it back up the front, and then jam it in my God's fucking eye for making the abomination. Oh.
You okay there? Yeah? You need a minute?
It only felt like an hour. There's 7 minutes left, and whew.
Are you going to be able to make it?
Oh, yeah, look, there's no time for them to do this to me again now, even though it is repeatable these days. So, I'll be fine. I mean, they can only do 2 minutes, 4 minutes, and then just 10 for the bigs, and that's not happening again. We've come through the woods. I've escaped. The worst has passed. The storm is over. The hurricane is gone, and then I'd find a new one to name after you.
But you don't even know my name, so how would you name it after me?
And look, apparently in their world they have been naming hurricanes after women, so I assume by sheer chance they've probably gotten you by now.
I don't know about that, actually. What is the most recent, most popular hurricane name? I know...
Look, from now on I'm just going to call you El Nino, and we'll call it settled.
What?
El Nino.
Yeah, I do kind of ruin people's lives like a hurricane. I'm not sorry. It's kind of
No, I don't want to polish Poe's anything. I want to feed him into a wood chipper.
Would it work in a wood chipper? I don't know. Do bones chip as easily as wood, or are they a little bit stronger?
Well, strictly speaking, if they're fresh, they should be a bit more likely to gum up the works. It's not really the best idea to throw people into those. I went through some murder stories. It was pretty novel. Still, in his case, I'm pretty sure it'd work.
If it were up to me, and I only say this because I absolutely loathe Poe with deep loathing from my ultimate core. If it were up to me, honestly, if you really want to get rid of Poe thoroughly, cleanly, without a trace, you feed him to the pigs. So you just mince up his little bone meal into nice powdery bits, And you just wipe it into the pig trough and just let them have their work of it. Because there is no better way to get rid of dead things than to feed them to pigs.
I cannot believe that even pigs want Poe Longbone in their mouth. It's a
They're
bit
just
cruel,
about
really. I mean, look, they're going to be slaughtered for beef meat as it is. Why would you do that to pigs? No.
They're just about the only creatures on in this realm or the next that would enjoy having Poe Longbone in their diet.
Bit skeptical. That said, this is mercy for animals, but the only reason I haven't tried to arrange for the Hellhound to get at him. Because, as you know, Grimraven bones can fracture in dogs' mouths, choking them, and I wouldn't wish that upon the Hellhound.
I'm just reading what Chad is saying about you, saying about me that I am a hurricane named El Nino or El Nino, the child. I didn't catch that. Ark!
Yes?
How dare you, sir?
Know how short
That
you are?
hurt. I'm not that short. I'm only 5'2". That's taller than most children. I was the tallest in my orphanage when I was 13, I'll have you know. And that is adolescent age.
Look, you talk about how expensive it'd be to stuff my head into a crate. I'm pretty sure I could fit you into a barrel without too much trouble.
How big's a barrel?
Well, they come in multiple sizes, but I think standard wine cask would be pretty easy.
So how many ounces we talking? 4 pounds? I don't know. How do they measure wine? I just drink it. I don't know anything about it.
How?
Yes?
Do you just have like a magic goblet refills of the wine, or how do you provision for your ship anyway?
I have people for that.
Well,
They
so
just
do
bring
I.
me things.
Look, which of our people is close enough to quiz about the correct measurement of barrels?
Listen. I don't bother myself with the frivolities of everyday peasant life anymore, alright? I have grown far beyond the little orphan girl at the nunnery back in Yilden days, in the early days of the thief. And I have amassed plenty of wealth beyond my station, so I don't have to concern myself with the frivolities of everyday life things, all right? If my goblet gets low, I just have someone else refill it off crystal. Right? And there we go. She's a full goblet now. I don't even know where it comes from. I just hold out my goblet, and there it is. Full again. We love to see it.
Orphanages. They, actually, yes, indeed, you were really onto something there. I stand corrected.
I'm sorry. What are you writing down there?
Nothing?
Are you taking notes about me?
No. That'd be awfully crass to use an opportunity such as this to learn things that might be applied in a negative fashion later on. I know what I want to do that. What would I possibly blackmail you for anyway? What would you have that I would possibly want?
All of my wealth and status, and all of my many minions across all of the kingdoms.
Okay, wealth maybe. I'm not sure how much of a hole you actually haven't already spent on hookers and booze.
My extensive trade network, for one.
Nah, I've got my own there, but
Yeah, but
we can discuss later the things I might hypothetically want to blackmail for you if you actually had anything I wanted to blackmail you for, which would be the only reason I'd possibly be taking notes about you, and of course I wasn't doing that in the first place.
So I do have stuff worth blackmailing.
Well,
Good
we
to
can
know that you
discuss this.
find me of value.
I, of
It
course,
warms my heart.
really doubt you, but you can, of course, prove me wrong later on. Meanwhile, we're in the final minute, and I just thought, the thief, it's awfully impersonal. I have some suggestions you might want to go with. How about Thiefy Poo?
I have one for you.
My
Try
little kleptopipsy?
enunciating. No, I was just gonna say, enunciate your words. You sound like a
Thiefy Poo.
drunkard.
Kleptopipsy?
Yes, I don't understand what he's saying, ladies and
Tipsy
gentlemen.
little Thiefy Joan.
The mundane Arcturus, the Black Compass, and I've been the Nameless, and this has been MINIQUEST,
A
and
terrible
you have
mistake.
been fucking.
The Gibber-Gabber Grimiore's history is shrouded in flibbity bibbly boop boop plip plip bloop. Plip boop boop poopy poopy. Plip plip boop poop bloop.